How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today I bring you a story that has not gotten much attention from the mainstream media. I've not seen it on CNN, MS, 13 NBC, CBS, ABC, etc. If you've seen it there, let me know in the comments below, but I've not seen it. In Duval County, Florida, Jacksonville to be exact, you had two elderly above 65 Trump supporters down there volunteering for the local GOP in Duval and also for the Trump campaign. They had a tent set up in the Walmart parking lot. They were registering new voters and just spreading the message about Trump, just trying to stump for Trump down there in Florida. So they're minding their own business, doing their thing. All of a sudden, here comes 27-year-old Gregory Timm driving his vehicle through the tent, assaulting the two elderly people. Now, luckily, nobody got hurt, but this story does not end there. What I'm gonna do right now is go ahead and roll the clip. In this clip, you'll see what happened. You'll see some more context. After we get done with the clip, I'll talk about what the attacker said and why he did it. Then I'll give you my 2 cents, my analysis, and then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
And good evening, I'm Jeff Vallon. Also topping our news tonight, volunteers with the Republican Party of Duval County say they're shaken up after they say the driver of a van intentionally drove through their tent as they registered people to vote today. Detectives with JSO are investigating this as an aggravated assault and criminal mischief. It happened about 2:45 this afternoon in the parking lot of the Walmart at Atlantic and Kernan Boulevards. That's where we find On Your Side's Kaylee Tracy. Kaylee, just what happened?
Well, Jeff, the volunteer who says she was narrowly missed just by a few feet here says she was standing right about here. As you can see, the tent here on her left. She says that that van pulled up right about here. She walked up to the van thinking that he would slow down a little bit. She says she thought he wanted a Trump bumper sticker. Instead, he accelerated, she says, through this tent, and she says she only got out of the way because one of the other volunteers yelled for her to move. Now, according to detectives, they're looking for an older 80s brown Chevy van with a yellow stripe down the bottom of that van. Witnesses say the man driving was white, in his early 20s with brown hair and is thin. They also say that he recorded the incident on his phone and gave them the middle finger before flying away through this parking lot, they tell us. And JSO says intelligence detectives are now on scene investigating because deputies say, again, they're not 100% sure if this is politically motivated, but tell us, quote, as you heard at the top of this story, anybody that interrupts a political process in this country needs to be taken very seriously. And as for those volunteers, they say they feel targeted.
I thought he was going to slow down, but he didn't. He gunned his engine and headed straight.
We're all Americans. This is America. When did violence become the answer just because I don't agree with you?
All right, so you saw that, you heard that. Now, this is crazy. I mean, this tent, you see it a lot. You may go different places and especially Trump rallies and whatnot. You see these tents out there. They may have some hats, some literature. It's, your basic run-of-the-mill campaign stuff. Not anything really major. And you have elderly people running it above 65. So this guy, young idiot, decides he wants to just drive through the tent. Now, when the story first broke, people were saying, oh, it could have been a medical emergency. It could have been an accident. He could have been high on drugs or whatever. Maybe he was high on drugs, but he came out and said why he did it. And I'll place excerpts from some documents on the screen before you. And you see what's in the highlighted portions because someone had to take a stand. And he also admitted to recording the whole thing, probably put it on social media, was giving him the middle finger as he was driving away, all this, that, and the third. Then he was like, well, I didn't even get the good part on camera. So this guy is totally non-repentant, no remorse, did it on purpose, with the express purpose of hurting Trump supporters. He says he does not like Trump and he's part of a particular organization, which is blacked out. You could pretty much put 2 and 2 together. You see the guy, the weird haircut, young, hurting Trump supporters, elderly people, picking on weak people, check. Weird haircut, check. Young white guy, check. All the things pretty much fit an Antifa supporter or an Antifa member. Somebody that's right on that kind of spectrum of being a far leftist extremist. In this case, he is an extremist. He actually assaulted people. He'd be going to jail for this. You know, he's in court smirking and doing the head nod and whatnot. Like, he doesn't even really care. Now, my question to anyone that's out there, it should be an obvious question, it might even be a rhetorical one, is what if this were the other way around? Imagine if this were a Joe Biden tent, a Bernie Sanders tent, a Mike Bloomberg, well, maybe not so much, so I'll digress. You understand what I'm saying? Elizabeth Warren, Pete Buttigieg. Oh, man, imagine if it was Buttigieg. My goodness, it'd be ridiculous. They would immediately be seen as homophobic, you know, racist, you know, violent Trump supporters back at it again. It'd be everything in the book thrown at the person that did that, even if it was not a Trump supporter that did it. Okay, as soon as the vehicle hit the tent or drove towards the tent, the narrative will already be spinning about this being a violent, white, evil Trump supporter that just hates progressivism. They hate black people, this, that, and the third. Even if nobody black was injured, okay, they want to keep bringing up Charlottesville. In that case, you had a white guy that killed a white woman. It wasn't even necessarily a political thing. I mean, nobody had on stickers from what I saw that said, I vote for X, Y, and Z person. In this case, a guy came out and said, yeah, I did it because I don't like Trump. And somebody's got to do something. I can't just let this happen. Someone must do something, and I'm going to be that person, basically. Now, luckily, nobody was injured. Nobody is in a bad situation. You know, they probably were just shaken up. Maybe they were able to move out the way. Maybe they were able to dodge the vehicle. I don't know what happened, but the people that were in the tent are perfectly fine. Nobody get injured at all. But this is just yet another example of the left, the crazy left, attacking Trump supporters. This is what they do all the time. It's crazy because when I turn on the mainstream media, whenever I'm forced to turn on the mainstream media, I keep seeing a narrative about the right attacking the left. I don't see it the other way around. I don't see what really happens, which is the left attacking the right. Now, I'm not saying that as some kind of victimhood, narrative I want to spin for myself, or, claiming to be a victim and trying to find comfort in that or reveling in that. It's not even about that. It's about pointing out facts. I'm all about facts here. That's it. You don't see right-wing people, Trump supporters attacking left-wing people. You just don't see it. Okay. There have been plenty of rallies for all of these candidates. You've had Biden rallies, Buttigieg, Pocahontas. All these people have had their rallies, had their events, had their little town halls. They've been in airports, and nobody bothers them. Nobody bothers them. Nobody comes out and says anything crazy or tries to hurt them. It doesn't happen. But the other way around, oh yeah, it happens to us. You get crazy things said to you. You get threatened. People try to dox your house. They try to, do things to you in public if you appear to be weak. That's how they operate. This guy could be Antifa, maybe, I don't know. But people like this that kind of lean towards that Antifa spectrum, they want to attack you if you're weak, or they'll do things where they can be anonymous online. They'll troll you, they'll dox you, to do things like that. That's pretty much how that goes over on that side. So my last question to the mainstream media and to any regular leftist normies would be, who's on your side and who's not on your side? Who are the violent ones and who are not the violent ones? Really simple. You see a lot of violence politically come from one side. It's really one-sided. They try to say, oh, it's both ways. I can't tell. I cannot tell. You may see one or two examples you can actually mention and link to the right out of hundreds, if not thousands, on the left. It's really clear to see where the problem lies. And what will the left do about this come election time? Because I predict there will be more things like this happening. Unfortunately, I don't want it to happen. I pray everybody stays safe. At the end of the day, as I close, I did this story to just put it out there in the world. I don't really see it much in the mainstream media, but these stories need to get the light of day. Like I said, if it were the other way around, if it were a quote unquote crazed Trump supporter attacking Buttigieg and his volunteers, or Amy Klobuchar's volunteers, or Pocahontas' volunteers, or Bernie Sanders' volunteers, it'd be a whole big story. You hear about it for years, because Charlottesville has been years ago, and we're hearing about it every day. And one person, unfortunately, was killed. So imagine if you got these people that are constantly hurting Trump supporters, shooting them, killing them, or whatever, and nobody says anything about it. You know, you see where the obvious media bias is. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that there is a media bias? They'll cover things where they think a person that's on the right does something, but as soon as they find out the person is not on the right, then they drop it like a bad habit. They don't want to do anything with it anymore. They'll just say, oh, no, that didn't really happen. We're just going to wipe that from our memory. It's just like it didn't even exist. Men in Black, look at the light and it's gone. Do you agree with that? Or do you think I'm just kind of blowing it out of proportion? Nobody got hurt. He just drove his van into Trump supporters, admitted that he did it because they're Trump supporters and they were elderly, but nothing to be seen here. It's not a really big story. It shouldn't even make the news. Is that how you feel? I'm seeing stories about stupid stuff like how many donuts does Trump eat in a day? I'm seeing that get on the nightly news. You understand what I'm saying? But a story like this, should that not be on the news as well? Whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.